Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Veterans Compass, Faith, Leadership, and Growth. I'm your host, John Areta. So today we're going to discuss when thank yous is not enough, right? So first, I'm going to make sure that we're going live everywhere. So let me go over to Instagram and go live because I want everybody to, I want to reach everybody, get everybody. So I'm recording it, but it's going to be a live session. I want to get people on here. I want to have a discussion. And that's the purpose behind it. I want to spread awareness, but for those that can't make it on, and I encourage those to get people out there and get on here. And you never know who you're going to touch when you're talking and when you're speaking and through your experiences in life. So I read this somewhere a couple of days ago. I was scrolling somewhere on, I don't know if it was Facebook or TikTok, but it was where it said when thank you is not enough. And I didn't read on it. It just hit differently. It hit differently where, man, like it made me think, like, are we really, is that good enough? Like I understand that people don't know how to treat those or be around. They think they do when they're around people that suffer from PTSD, suffer from mental illness, combat related, child, adult PTSD. I mean, the list could go on and on. But man, I definitely get some more listeners on here, man. So let me get some people out there. I want to get some good conversation going. So let me get on here onto my Facebook. I'm not even logged to Facebook, man. I'm going live. Let's go, baby. Where are my events? Yeah, some love right now. Yep. All right. Let me. Oh, there we go. We got some people. All right. So come on. So if you want to go ahead and I put the link in the description. If you want to come on and talk, we can definitely talk. And I want to have an open discussion. I want to see what you feel, what you think, and just everything that comes to mind, especially dealing with a veteran. And this podcast is not for people to just veterans out there that have been suffering. Those are family that deal with veterans that are suffering. It's with friends. It's with anybody. We need you. We need you out there. We need your support. We need your help. And the thing is that people don't see this. So like I for example, I was on the phone trying to get legal service provided to me as a veteran. There's resources out there that you can get legal services from, either at free cost or they get a referral and you pay a certain amount, but it depending on if you qualify for it. But I understand that I was on the phone. I was actually at my sister's house, my father's house, and we were just hanging out. And I got a phone call from a mentorship program that I signed up for. And this mentorship program was supposed to put me with somebody that I want to be like, because I do supply chain management. I've been doing this for 24 years. And so I want to go up, and I wanted to be, a president of supply chain, or I want to do something like that. So right now I'm currently the supply chain manager for a construction company, and it's been amazing. It's been a blessing. And so, like, I just noticed that people don't understand what they're signing up for. Like, when he called me yesterday, I was there with my sister, and it was, I can't blame the guy, right? So I'll clearly say that it's about not being trained, not really seeing what we go through in real life and how to handle the situation, right? So he called me asking about how my mentorship program was going, and I haven't seen the guy or talked to the guy in 2 weeks. Because for the past 2 weeks, I've been hurting. I've been hurting PTSD. I've been hurting with getting triggered all the time. I've been hurting with uh, living life. I hear sirens. I see flashing lights. I jump. I people come to my desk. I jump. I see lights. I get flashbacks. I get nightmares. So having PTSD, combat PTSD, is it's real. It's something that happens. Every time that we do go to a new therapy session, or uh anything, could be psychiatric therapy, could be anything, with a social worker, and they're gonna ask you a series of questions, the same questions over and over and over. They're gonna ask you, uh for the past 2 weeks, have you ever felt this way? Have you ever felt that way? And it's the same questions over and over, and to you, it's normal, right? It's normal. I say normal because when you have suffer from mental illness, we think about life, and we think about, like, what is normal, right? So, and it all boils down to your relationship with Jesus Christ. But I'm going to get into certain, to other things before I get to that. Is that living like, going on a tangent over here on just what we go through, what we feel. I mean, people hear the things that we do. They hear the things that we experience, the missed birthdays, the missed births, you know, the missing weddings, missing people. Your children grow up, they don't even know who you are. They don't even know. They can't even recognize you. The going on these long deployments, not knowing if you're going to come back alive. When you see your kids on the pier and you kiss them goodbye, and not knowing that you're not going to come back. But they don't know that. Nobody knows that. And so what we do is we keep it inside. We keep it inside because we got to be strong. We got to survive. So we continue to train. We continue to fight. And we continue to survive. But you get tired. You get tired of fighting the fight. You get tired of missing birthdays. You get tired of missing Christmas, missing the holidays, missing the moments that you're supposed to be with your family. And family is so important. Family is so important, and we take that for granted every single day. People tell me all the time, like, "Oh, John, eat this, eat that," and I was like, "I don't care. Warm that up, John. This." I was like, "It's edible. It's edible. I don't need to have the best. It's life. This is tangible things that we have in this life. It's not something that we're gonna live with forever, right? So understand that everything here is all temporary. It's all temporary. And so we tend to look at life from a different point of view when you see things that way. Because ultimately, we're supposed to live for Christ, live Christ like, spread the gospel, bring as many people as we can to the kingdom. That's our purpose in life, right? Man, I totally lost track of thought. I went on a tangent there. Oh man, here's something. We often hear the words, "Oh, thank you for your service," and don't get me wrong, it's appreciated, but sometimes those words don't quite capture the depth of the sacrifices, right? The sacrifices. What are the sacrifices? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the sacrifices, right? The sacrifices that we deal with every day, the sacrifices that we have to make in order to survive, right? And it could be different for everybody. For me, it had to be a robot. I had to numb myself. I had to numb my feelings. I had to numb my every aspect of me in order to train to fight, to focus on the mission, to focus on being afloat out to sea, fighting the fight, whether it's Syria, whether it's Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, whether it was Operation New Dawn. I mean, what operation haven't I been on, man, for 21 years, since I was 17 years old to 42 years old? I was a little kid, right? This is your little boys and girls going to war. All right, so let's talk about sacrifice. I mean, that's all I've known. That's all I've done my whole life. So I mean, it's a normal part of me. So let's talk about it. If anybody wants to get on, let's talk about it. I see these videos of people talking about the military, talking about how we shouldn't get these benefits, and because they're not privileges. It's a privilege of what we get. These 10% off here, 10% off there, and whatever. It's a benefit. There's a difference between a privilege and a benefit. You know what the privilege is? You know what the privileges that civilians have that they don't grasp is that you get to go home at the end of the day. You get to see your kids at the end of the day. You get to hold them. You get to create memories. You get to create bonds, relationships. It's a They need you in their life. But all that we knew how to do was just survive, and this is how we knew how to take care of our family. Because at the end of the day, everybody is taken care of medically, medical, dental, vision. They have a roof over their head. They got cars. They got transportation. They have everything. They have everything, but they didn't have me. I didn't have myself. because I lost myself. Right? When you lose yourself, you turn to this robot where everything is automatic reaction, where as soon as we hear the alarms going off for general quarters, we already know that we got to get up, get dressed, get in our firefighting ensemble, fire flashing gear, run to our gear locker. Throughout the entire ship, the whole ship shuts down. We're fighting the fight. We're fighting the war. We're defending the ship for war. So we were all trained. I was a plotter in repair locker 3. I had to plot all the damages, people dying, people ruptured pipes, um, a hole in the side of the ship. There's penetration. There's a submarine. There's uh, uh, airborne attack. There's a chemical, radiological, biological attack. It's a whatever it is, and we are prepared for it. So when we hear those alarms, we got to jump up and go, right? So, and then if you're late, you get tapped on the shoulder. Hey, what are you doing? You're late. Da, 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 right? Over here, if you're late, it's okay. Oh, I got coffee. I'm sorry, I'm late, right? But in the military, if you're late, it's somebody's life. So understand that when we have our issues with PTSD, when we have our issues with hypervigilance, where I'm jumpy all the time, whether you're dealing with the triggers, then you're trying to figure out what your triggers are. You know, all that. That's the sacrifices that we take, and that's what we're talking about, right? I'm 100% disabled. I'm 100% disabled, right? So all service connected. 70% alone is for mental health. I gotta live with that for the rest of my life. Man, so the weight of responsibilities, the scars, both visible and invisible, that service can leave behind. Today we're going to unpack all that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to see what it really means when they say what thank you doesn't feel like enough, and how we can create deeper, more meaningful ways to honor and support those who serve. Not just say thank you, just and we'll talk about more of that. Right. So when I think about service, so I think about more than just a uniform, right? It's the sleepless nights that I've talked about. It's barely, we work 16, 18-hour days. People work more, right? The missed birthdays, the missed births, the deployments, the training that pushes us to our limits, man. We're human beings, right? It's carrying the weight of responsibility of others, sometimes making decisions that will stay with you forever, right? For some of us, coming home doesn't mean the mission is over. You tend to think that. You tend to think that, man, I'm coming home, and that's what we look forward to when we're on the deployments, when we're out to sea, when we're fighting the fight, whatever it is. All we're looking forward to is coming home. Coming home where we think it's going to be safe, because you're tired of always being on guard. You're tired of standing the watch, standing 4, 8 double watches, triple. I don't know, just the watches that we got to stand. We're always on watch while y'all sleeping. We're on watch. The transition to civilian life, the struggles with mental health, and even finding a sense of purpose again can be battles on their own. That's why sometimes thank you feels like just a phrase. Like it's just a phrase, like an automatic phrase. Like when somebody sneezes, your automatic response is "God bless you." Do you really think the words you're saying is just an automatic reaction that we do when we say thank you? It's well intended and but distant from the reality we live with every day. Right. So, what veterans and service members really need? Let's talk about that. I've been hitting on what why thank you is not good enough and all that. But let's talk about how we can make that better. Right. So, what does real support look like? Right. So, I went. I didn't finish the story. I just remembered this. But earlier, I was talking about how I received a phone call from a mentorship program, and I spilled my guts. I was in tears. Mentioned about my divorce, mentioned about my kids, mentioned about all kinds of things, and I can't focus on the mentorship program right now. And I said I was going through legal battles, legal issues, and just everything. I was just unloading on him in tears, crying, and he had no clue how to handle me. And I'm not saying that he's supposed to be qualified and certified, but think about it. In the military, we have to do that. If I'm going to go and be in a position where I'm going to be dealing with veterans, guess what we're going to do? We're going to do our training. How to deal with veterans with PTSD, how to deal with veterans that with suicide ideations or suicide attempts. We have processes in place for that. Why can't we have that in the civilian world? Right? And if you're going to take on a job that's supporting veterans, at least the minimum be trained on how to deal with mental health. Provide resources, at least at the minimum. Right? All that was said to me was thank you for your service. That's what I got. Right. And that's the thing is that when we're in distress, mentioned before, when we're in a crisis, we don't realize we're in a crisis. We don't realize that we're crying. We don't realize that we're so lost. We don't realize that we're so scared. We don't realize that we're so hurt. We don't realize that we're having a flashback. We don't realize that we're having nightmares. It's just normal life to us. It's normal life. And so what we do is we tend to just live our life and just be strong. Right? But strong for who? That's where we struggle with before, right? So what does it really look like supporting veterans, right? Mental health or any way possible. Like if you have a veteran or if you have a spouse or family members, children, somebody that's going through mental health, what can you do is understanding and listening, right? Sometimes all we need is somebody to listen. I'm not trying to have you fix it, but I'm trying to have you listen. Just listen. Truly listen. Listen to the words that are coming out of our mouths. I'm not saying, I'm telling you this because I don't want you to fix me. You're not going to fix me. You're not going to fix us. So understand that your responsibility, your job is not to fix us, it's to help us. We're already damaged. We just got to heal from it now. It's not going away. We're damaged. All right. Building strong communities. That's another huge one. Whether through mentorship, like I mentioned, for myself, veteran groups, or faith based organizations, having a network of people who understand is invaluable. It is invaluable. So, and that could be anything. Right now, I'm going to church and I go to a men's group. We're supposed to meet up today. I haven't done it. It's been a while. I haven't done it, but there's a men's group going on. I'm on different Facebook groups, uh, for mental health, for veterans, on the community, anything to give back. Right. So having a good network is great to have. When I attempted suicide twice, I had to, and I was Baker acted for 3 days to try to harm myself and harm my daughter. Having people that understand what you're going through is so precious. And so seek out help. There are people out there that are going through the same thing you're going through. You're not alone. And the thing is that we tend to think that we are alone. Yeah. So faith as a foundation. We build community, but faith as a foundation. Many of us lean on our faith to get through the darkest moments. And for me, I learned that God doesn't just thank us, He walks with us through it all. Right? He walks with us. You just gotta follow. Advocacy and action. If you want to show gratitude, get involved, support veteran organizations. There's so many organizations out there. And for me, I learned that and push for better mental health resources and be an advocate for those still fighting unseen battles. So that's why I volunteered for the National Alliance of Mental Illness in Greater Orlando area. Because I want to discuss all that. I want to bring awareness. And it's free. It's free for everybody. Get the help that you need. It's amazing. It's a blessing. So what can we do moving forward? All right, challenge you, whether you're a veteran supporter or just someone listening, to think about how you can make gratitude more than just words. All right, if you're a veteran, how can you reach out to a brother or sister in arms who might be struggling? If you're a civilian, how can you move forward beyond thank you and into action? Maybe it's buying a meal. Maybe it's simply taking the time to ask, how are you really doing? And being ready to listen. Like really ask sincerely from your heart, how are you doing? And care. The point is gratitude is a verb, right? And when we turn it into action, we create a world where no one feels like their service was just another box to check or another phrase to repeat. So as we wrap up today's episode, I just want to say this, man, to my fellow veterans: your service, your sacrifice, your journey, it is seen. Even when the words fall short, know that you are valued. You are not alone. and your mission doesn't end when the uniform comes off. And for those who want support, thank you for listening today. Now take what you've heard and put it into action. How powerful is that? Man, if this episode spoke to you, man, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Reach out to me or social media or email me if you want to continue the conversation. As always, man, keep moving forward, keep the faith, and remember, you are never alone in this journey. This has been the Veterans Compass, Faith, Leadership, and Growth. Until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, and keep leading with purpose.